telephone. Act right. Act right, telephone. I got another charger. Act right.
Once you fill out your mail-in ballot, you may drop it in any county election mailbox found outside places like libraries, or you could drop it off with a poll worker at any vote center. If you suspect election foul play, voter suppression or intimidation, or other irregularities, or if you need to know more about your rights, call the election protection.
I don't like sharing ear jam. What up, what up, what up?
Our vote. That's 866-687-8683 from any state. And if you need more information on specific candidates or propositions, check out our interviews and analysis on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, November 5th is the last day to vote, and the sooner we do it, the better. Helping you vote like your life depended on it, because it does. Your election information station, KBLA Talk 1580.
What up, what up?
Hey, so
Don't play with me.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes
What up?
tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
Everybody say hello to Michelle Battle. Get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. I want to talk to everybody. Yeah. 1-800-920-1580.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to rethink love and commitment. 60 years ago was when we decided that men had to be monogamous too. Men were not monogamous. For all of recorded human history, men had concubines and whores. And 60 years ago, straight relationships began to become more egalitarian, and it was less of a property transaction. A marriage had been a property transaction for most of recorded human history. And it became a union of two equals. And at that moment, instead of deciding to allow women to have the same sort of freedom and leeway that men did, we decided to let men have the same limitations, impose the same limitations that women had. And we put monogamous sexual commitment at the heart of all relationships, all long-term commitments, all marriages. And we have watched, we should now be able to recognize the consequences of that, which are a lot of short-term relationships, a lot of divorce, because monogamy is ridiculous, and people aren't any good at it. We're not wired for it. We didn't evolve to be. It's not natural. And it places a tremendous strain on our marriages and our long-term commitments to expect them to be effortlessly monogamous. Because what we've said is, if you're in love, you won't want to have sex with anybody else. And what we need to tell people is that if you're in love, you can make a monogamous commitment and you will refrain from having sex with other people. But you will still desperately want to fuck the shit out of other people. But people understand love means I don't want to fuck other people because of these misconceptions pumped into people's heads.
What in the world? Whew. What?
God, you can see more with that, man?
Oh my God! Hopefully we caught all of that.
We did. You're good.
Oh, great! Yeah. Yikes! The podcast is gonna be dusty. Hey, here we go. So, let me just say this. A lot of people are talking about the validity of monogamy. Everybody's talking about it. Who is that?
Hands have it.
No. Lala. Yeah. Carmelo Anthony's ex-wife. And then the other young lady who is married to one of the twins. Is it Tia or Tamara? Which one of them? Mowry?
Yeah, Tia Mowry.
Tia Mowry. So what I'm starting to see, okay? So you got Lala Anthony talking about it. You got Tia Mowry talking about it. As a matter of fact, Iman Shumpert's wife, whom is just a beautiful sister. And they have a beautiful family, by the way. Iman Shumpert and his wife. What's her name? Beautiful sister.
Tiana Taylor.
Tiana. I knew it was a T name. I just didn't want to mispronounce it. Tiana Taylor. My God. So that was one of those couples where I was like, yeah, that's a good couple. Then you see those children. Just beautiful kids, you know. So what's happening in relationships now? Because remember, marriage is the Super Bowl of relationships. That's the big game, right? And why are people struggling? You know what I'm starting to find out? This is tough. I think women are under pressure to get married. And I think a lot of women get married before they have a firm grasp of who they are, right? They might get married for the covering, as the church would say. The man is supposed to be a covering, right? So it might be some financial obligations and implications there. It might be some security, some protection. It might be sex. It might be a myriad of things. Who knows? But I think what happens is women are always in flux with regards to who they think they are. Women are growing. Women are changing. Let's just be honest about it. Yes, you could throw the celebrity lens on top of it as well. I think in the old days, when a man was serious about you, this is how you knew, like, he gonna shut everything down, right? That doesn't mean he's not going to cheat, though. But he's gonna shut everything down. He's gonna make commitments. He's gonna commit his time. He's gonna commit his money. He's gonna commit his resources. So in a man's mind, he thought, yeah, can't you tell I'm serious, right? You're going to do all that. But here's the problem with marriage or monogamy. It's about doing. It has nothing to do with being. And then most people haven't done any real research. They don't know that there are different variations of monogamy, right? So we don't have to be married in order for us to be monogamous, right? All that's saying is we're not going to have sex with anyone else, right? That's monogamy. The marriage piece complicates things a little bit because now you're under pressure. And I think a lot of people are trying to live up to social norms, societal norms, social game rules. You guys remember my favorite quote from my favorite philosopher? It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a sick society. So you got people who think showing up for real only counts when you get married. What do I look like fighting for a relationship? We not married. Do you see what I'm saying? Like real connection you think is a light switch you can turn on and off, right? We live in a toxic society. So now we have socially imposed monogamy. Somebody just put in the chat room right there. They said, do you know if you commit adultery on your wife or husband in the state of New York, that is a misdemeanor? That is socially imposed. How is it that society got involved in love? And how you should, because it's a business, right? Families, first off, marriage is the number one indicator of wealth in America. Marriage, number one indicator of wealth, right? Number one indicator of poverty is divorce. Look at what's happening. Do you see? Socially, right, imposed monogamy, right? The more married people, the more families. What is that? It is the people, the populace that actually energizes, right, the economy. Families, we need toilet tissue, we got Netflix, we got car insurance, we got home insurance. It's a business. The family construct is a business that actually feeds the society in which we live. 1-800-920-1580. Tonight's topic, the monogamy myth. Is society forcing us into relationships that don't work? Why don't these relationships work? Why doesn't monogamy work? For some, right? Just because you stay together doesn't mean it works. Oops, I'm sorry. I'm just here to tell the truth. I just want to talk to y'all tonight. One love, one marriage, the flaws in society's push for monogamy. Now, I'm not anti-monogamy. I want my woman to be my woman. I don't want my woman to have a bunch of other dudes, you know? Now, if you ask me, Zoe, are you ready to shut it down? I have shut it down for people. I might have shut it down too late. I'm going to tell the truth about me. Of course, I want to be monogamous with one woman. Of course, I want to have one woman. Of course. Why did humans become monogamous? Controversial look at the evolution of relationships. Monogamy as a social, societal imposition. The hidden disadvantages of the one partner model. When we come forward, the voice of reason, we gonna act a fool tonight because I really want to know what y'all think about this. Let me give you an example. Let me just say this real quick. Monogamy won't work if you don't stand up to yourself, right? Whether you get married or not, right? Monogamy simply won't work unless you stand up to yourself. You say, what do you mean, Zoe? Stand up to myself. If you're unhealed, if you're not on the healing journey, if you're not about conquering your inner demons, then it doesn't matter what relationship construct you get in, it just simply won't work. This is marriage. Okay. 50+% divorce rate. They say, oh no, it's gone down. It's in the 40s. Okay, well, let's add the legal separations, which is around 10 to 12%. We're back at 52%. So you get what I'm saying? Like, can we be honest about it? You know why it doesn't work? Because you didn't do the work. All right. When we come forward, I want to talk to y'all. 1-800-920-1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get it. Ah! Hey, y'all can call right now, man. Holla at me. Let's talk about it. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Show your love, show your love, show your love, show your love. Like it, share it, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.
Now, so when this one's put back or no? Put back. Okay, fantastic.
So I'm talking about people who are saying they have no interest in ever doing it or wanting to do it. It's not like a goal of people, and even people that are in relationships, a lot of them are not saying like the goal for our relationship is to get married. It's like the goal is to be together, have a dope relationship, you know, and be companions forever. For a lot of people, they'll say that the reason that they don't just want to be out is because it's a business agreement. There's paperwork between the two of you.
Wait a minute. That's Lala right there. Can we hear that again? That's Lala. That's Lala Anthony. She's talking about marriage and what it has turned into. This is very interesting. You guys remember Lala Anthony? She was a radio personality, VJ, MTV VJ, as well as an actress, and she was married to NBA baller Carmelo Anthony. They have a son. I think he's going to go to Syracuse like his dad and ball out. Let's hear that clip one more time.
I'm talking about people who are saying they have no interest in ever doing it or wanting to do it. It's not like a goal of people, and even people that are in relationships, a lot of them are not saying like the goal for our relationship is to get married. It's like the goal is to be together, have a dope relationship, you know, and be companions forever. For a lot of people, they'll say that the reason that they don't just want to be out is because it's a business agreement. There's paperwork between the two of you. So if I get out now, I got to deal with splitting assets or anything like that, or dealing with lawyers and paperwork, and people don't want to do that. So it's like, is it a union of love, and like Charlamagne just said, till death do us part, or is it a piece of paper that's binding to people? It actually saddens me a little bit that that's not.
Again, if you don't know yourself and you get married, the marriage is doomed. It's really that simple. If you don't know who you are, and you and your partner are not strong enough to weather the storm that relationship brings, relationship's not going to marry. It's not going to last for the most part. Listen to what I said. I didn't say the marriage. I said the relationship. You got some people, they say it's cheaper to keep her or cheaper to keep him nowadays, right? The relationship been dead, but it's too expensive to divorce because that's a business. So do you get what I'm saying? People are not understanding what this is about. And I'm not speaking ubiquitously, okay? There are some success stories. Not everybody struggles like this, but for the most part, wounds attack relationships. What do I mean by that? When I say they attack relationships, conflict, they have to be, in order for you to see the mirror of yourself, you got to be in a relationship. And all that stuff you push down, all that stuff you hid behind a mask, all that stuff, all the performance, and when all that get old and the real you show up in the relationship, and your partner is going, I didn't sign up for this. Who is this person? And then you say the same, well, who are you? I didn't sign up for this either. That's what relationship ultimately on a spiritual level is about. It's about the reconciliation of what hurt you in your in the formation, in your formative years. What hurt you back then? The only way to see it, the only way for it to be triggered is to be in a relationship. It doesn't matter if you call it marriage. It doesn't matter if you call it monogamy. It simply doesn't matter. How you going to keep an oath, but you're afraid to stand up to yourself? Ooh, that's what we're exchanging. The vows and the oaths, that's what we're exchanging in the marriage ceremony. Sickness and in health. I done seen people flip soon as somebody got sick. I've seen people flip soon as they put on 35 pounds. I done seen people flip as soon as the bags get around them eyes. They be like, what in the world? Who is this? Them vows mean nothing. And you don't want to get married under the duress of unrequited wound demands. Because think, oh, okay, I'm getting married to this person because they really feed my wounds. So what happens when your wounds, which are a burden to you, become a burden to your partner? Well, we married now. It's too late. Ain't no too late. So what we're starting to see with this younger generation of women, you know what's happening? They might get married because it looks right. We got money. I'm gorgeous. You're gorgeous. We good. Look at Jada. Same thing. They're all growing up in the marriage because of the conflict within the marriage, right? And then you start seeing people pull away. Like, wait a minute. Huh? You start seeing it like you start hearing words like you're a narcissist. Well, you're a narcissist too. You codependent. Right? You start hearing these things because guess what? Just because you got married doesn't mean the learning process stops. Now, marriage helps society. Period. Bunch of married people, monogamously married people, it's good. It's good for business. What you think? Christmas? That's family. Thanksgiving? Family. What else? Halloween? Oh, that's family. This is hey, New Year's? Family. Right? Valentine's Day? Come on. Y'all know what this is a business. Do you understand? We got seasons of familial spending. Mortgage? It's a business. Do you try to do that with somebody and y'all not healed? Becomes problematic, right? You can't stand for something matrimonial, i.e. uphold an oath, if you can't stand up to your own deep-seated issues. How does the notion of monogamy fit into the framework of non-duality in Hinduism and Buddhism, where the ultimate reality transcends individual relationships? That's a heavy question. Does monogamy inhibit the expansive potential of the soul's journey by restricting attachment to a single individual? I know you ain't ready for that question. Does monogamy inhibit the expansive potential of the soul's journey by restricting attachment to a single individual? 1-800-920-1580. How might the idea of organic monogamy align with Krishnamurti's emphasis on the dangers of psychological conditioning in relationship. We can't even be organically monogamous because we got psychological wounds and baggage that prevent connection, closeness, and consistency. That's ugly. That's ugly. In what ways can monogamy be seen as a form of spiritual discipline, akin to the practices of meditation or fasting? And does it lead to spiritual growth or stagnation? Because you hear a lot of people talk about discipline, especially when they're talking to men and men's sexuality, right? Oh, men got to be more sexually disciplined. If you got wounds, let's just be honest, your wounds contaminate everything. I know you don't want to hear this tonight, but your wounds contaminate everything. Do you know I could pick up a discipline and behave a certain way and use that as a means to distract me from feeling the wound, the pain, what I've been through? Now I got to practice. It's just like martial arts. I can practice that. And if I'm anxious, preoccupied, oh, I don't want to lose her, so let me act right. But is that you? Really? We got questions tonight, man. When we come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. People on the line, they want to talk. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get it. That's up for y'all. Who needs to calm down? What's going on? What happened? Who's moody? What am I missing? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Why are men afraid of men? Because men will kill each other. It's really that simple. Men will literally kill each other. So it's not so much fear, it's more of respect. We understand, like, oh, you cross a particular line with a man, there's issues. It's just like bears at the river. Big ass bears, they move real slow and cautious of each other because they know if the shit go wrong, something could happen. What up, y'all? Get to your phone lines. I want to talk to everybody. Let's talk about it.
Firstly, bro, you spitting. Secondly, you got 2 calls.
Okay, I see
from
you.
Dallas, and you got knowledge from Las Vegas.
I see you,
But
brother.
you spitting right now, bro.
Thank you. Hey, brother Kamal is up in here today. Kamal, you should come say what's up to the people, man. Kamal is sitting in for our good brother Andy because it's Andy's birthday.
It's his birthday. Show Andy some love, y'all. Kamal right here.
Brother Kamal in the building.
We here with the voice of reason. He's spitting as usual.
You already know.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy, man? It feels like Andy's birthday was last week. When he told me, he was like, yo, birthday, whoop, whoop, whoop. I said, man, your birthday was last week. Y'all should call in and talk. Yep. Come on, be here for Dr. Sunshine. He used to do my show when I was on Saturdays, but I think he covers a lot of the weekend shows for sure. Everybody hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Hey, listen, if you feel like it, we got 4 minutes left. You guys can go to my Cash App. If you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the information, please show your love. Go to my Cash App, $Zo What Netter. Don't forget, I got a relationship roundtable this Friday. Somebody, hey, when I go back on the air, can you guys spam it so I can remember to mention it while I'm on air? There it is. All right. Ooh. Hell nah. The round table. The round table. The church is the bride of Christ. Other than that, Mary Magdalene, however it's spelled, got to walk with him like no other. So there's that.
Or being in a relationship with one person is actually very uncommon among mammals, with only around 3% displaying monogamous bonding. So what's the deal with humans? Is it really better to be with one person for your entire life? Historically, humans did not practice monogamy. The anthropological record indicates that tens of thousands of years ago, approximately 85% of human societies were composed of men with more than one partner. The reason why most of the world has shifted to socially imposed monogamy is debated among scientists, but a leading hypothesis is to minimize the risk of sexually transmitted infection. As human societies transitioned from small hunter-gatherer societies to larger, densely populated agricultural societies, models show the shift in lifestyle would allow STIs to proliferate, causing death and infertility. But while monogamy may have evolved to prevent STIs, what about now? Many maintain they are in a monogamous relationship, but are actually committing infidelity. Estimates of cheating among married Americans range from 21% to 57% among men men and 11% to 35% among women. In fact, a study of college students in exclusive relationships found that 1 in 5 admit to using Tinder on the side, and those who identify as monogamous are less likely to practice safer sex, including condom use and STI testing, as they fear introducing these practices into a relationship may create suspicion. However, those in consensual non-monogamous relationships are more likely to use condoms for both vaginal and anal intercourse, be screened regularly for STIs, and discuss external sexual encounters with their primary partner. So now it seems those in consensually non-monogamous relationships may be at a lower risk for STIs than monogamous. A study using 1,500...
You know what's really strange about all of this? Let me just say this. It doesn't matter. You had a ceremony. You got a ring. Great. I'm happy for you. I'm praying that it works out. But just peep game. Just let me paint a picture for the unhealed, for people who refuse to look at themselves, for people to take accountability of who they are and deal with their inner wounds. Just peep game. Say you're a fearful avoidant or dismissive avoidant, and you get proposed to. And this wave of, oh my God, claustrophobia. My independence is under attack. I'm going into a relationship bunker. We're going to be underground? Yes, we together. This is official. Now, the opposite is true for the anxious preoccupied, which is, we got a bunker together, babe. We about to be booed up, cuddled up, bunkered up. Let's go. But the dismissive avoidant is, oh, Lord, how am I going to manage my anxiety without them knowing? I can't pull back now because I'm in it. I done said I do. This is what I'm saying. Because listen, the insecure attachment styles can all be changed to secure. But you got to do the work. Do you get what I'm saying? This is what I'm proposing. A lot of these youngsters that are getting married, right? They get in there, they get them babies, they get the situation. Life is different. Life has changed. Whether they got money or not, they're being forced to kind of grow up. And a lot of what they pushed down, which made them hella attractive, in other words, you push down your shadow, that made you attractive to the dude. The dude pushed his shadow down, that made him attractive to you. And then when y'all got locked in, oh my God, it's cheaper to keep her. Or it's cheaper to keep him. See, relationship can definitely be, it could be penitentiary. It can definitely be penitentiary. To what extent does monogamy serve as a protective mechanism for people with avoidant attachment styles, allowing them to control intimacy while avoiding emotional vulnerability? You can't have none tonight. I don't feel like it. I have a headache. Oh my God. I will take care of you. I need space. I need a moment. You read that question. To what extent does monogamy serve as a protective mechanism for people with avoidant attachment styles, allowing them to control intimacy while avoiding emotional vulnerability? How does trauma bonding, as outlined by Patrick Carnes, play out in monogamous relationships? And can this create cycles of codependency disguised as love? Do y'all want to have a real question about monogamy and why monogamy in marriage doesn't really work? It's not the agreement we make. People say, oh, our relationships are what we agree upon. You can agree upon an ideal and it not be reality. It not be based in reality. This is what, ideally, this is what I would like. How do insecure attachment styles, anxious, avoidant, disorganized, interact with socially imposed monogamy? And can the structure of monogamy exacerbate attachment wounds? See, y'all want to have a real conversation? Hey, everything ain't that deep, Zoe. Everything ain't that deep. We got together and we have our ups and downs. It's cool. That's because you don't understand the spiritual purpose of relationships. Relationships is supposed to purge you. I guarantee you, we sit down and many of y'all find out during the divorce proceedings. You ain't never told me that. You never shared that with me. That's you talking to your wife with the therapist in the middle. You ain't never said that to me. Well, I was trying to tell you. I said, wait a minute, trying to tell me ain't the same as telling me. And then, of course, the therapist jumps in. Well, did you create a safe space for them to speak? And did they feel like there would be some retribution had they shared this with you at that time? That's what I'm here for. I'm just here just to make sure that everybody is seen and everybody is heard. How many people are unseen and unheard in that damn matrimonial lock? I'm not trying to destroy marriage. I promise you. I want to get married one day. But they got to be working on themselves. They got to listen. They got to be at least Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather. I think Money Mayweather came in around 25 fights. He had 50. The last 25 was Money May. After De La Hoya, you got to have at least 25 self-victories under your belt. Oh, I've already forgiven my mother. Yes. Yes, I've forgiven my father too. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yes, I've been to therapy. I've got about 2,500 hours of therapy in, just dealing with, being neglected, not being seen, not being heard. No, if nobody's doing that, they coming into relationship telling you, you better do this. I didn't get none of this when I grew up. I got some eggshells in my pocket right now, and they're for the bottom of your shoes. I would like to glue them on your shoes. And there's one stipulation. You just simply cannot break the eggshells. I've already broken them for you. You shouldn't break them any further. So I'm supposed to tiptoe around you and your... Listen. Can monogamy, when socially imposed, create a re-traumatization loop for those who experienced neglect or abandonment in childhood, reinforcing insecure attachment patterns? Look cute before you do it. If you ain't healed, oh, well, we went to therapy with the pastor. Pastor therapy. Okay. I'm not saying it's a bad deal. I'm just saying therapy should be ongoing. How about that? All right, we got callers on the line. It's time for me to talk to people. Are you ready to go? Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. Who's been on the longest? Reggie from Dallas, Texas. Reggie, get in here. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Zo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Reggie?
What up, man? This is Reggie from Austin.
I know.
So, hey, you said Dallas, but all right, this is
Oh, it says Dallas up here. I'm sorry, Reggie. My
It's cool,
bad.
man.
Go ahead, brother.
We've talked about a lot of things as far as like sexual practices.
Mm-hmm.
I think marriage is about intimacy. Love is about intimacy. That's the thing that really trips people up. It's not just a sex thing. It's about intimacy. And intimacy is everything. It's about facing all of the highs and lows of everything and being who you are. Now, you asked about going into this relationship, if it's community-based or if it's forced. Anything that's forced isn't real. You have to have authenticity in whatever you're going in. And if you're not going into it authentically, then it's going to show up on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, you probably could have took the money that you spent on your wedding and just had a party. You just wasted that money.
Right.
when we choose to love, we choose to face death and grief and loss again and again and again, just as much as we choose to face the friendlier parts of love.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't just about the highs; it's about facing the lows with authenticity.
I like
It goes
that.
back to being real. It goes
But
back to being, and I mean, go ahead.
but the only thing I want to not really push back on, but to make a distinction, I believe words like marriage and monogamy, these are just words. We as people are the reality of these words, right? Robert Anton Wilson says the map, no, it's Alfred Korzybski. The map is not the territory. We are the reality of a married couple or of a monogamous couple. We are the reality. And I think what happens is, like, if I listen to what you said marriage is about intimacy. Relationship is about intimacy. Relationship, period, is about intimacy. And what happens is we turn marriage into this aggrandized, oh my God, it's this, it's that. Listen, when you're healing, when you have an intimate relationship with yourself and you stop beating up yourself and you stop guarding those wounds and you start protecting those wounds and you start looking at those wounds with empathy and love and you start embracing those wounds, guess what? Every relationship you have, family, business, or personal, becomes an intimate relationship. When you are not intimate with self, you cannot be intimate with anybody else, regardless of what y'all agreed upon or whatever ceremony y'all went through. It's null and void unless you're intimate with self. Does that make sense? Where's Reggie?
That's the word. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got Kamal in here today. He got a different style. He's like Canelo Alvarez, where he got a different style to how he runs the board. Don't put him on mute. Let him talk. I want to talk to him. Come on, man. Talk to me, Reggie.
It makes sense. I mean, those are the ground rules for anything to work.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to agree. Now, the fact that you made a word mean what it meant gives us power over those words.
Right.
So you can make the relationship mean what it should. You can make the relationship mean a bunch of things. As long as y'all are on the same level, and as long as y'all are on the same wavelength, then it's fine.
Oh, that's the slippery slope.
Absolutely.
You know why?
Absolutely.
Because when have you ever talked to somebody that said, well, if this isn't going through, if this thing between you and I isn't going to end in marriage, you know, I'm not really going to take you seriously, and I don't expect you to take me seriously. Let's just slap and tickle a little bit and mess around. How often do people actually say that?
They don't say that out of fear.
And they wind up using people in the process. Yes or no?
Absolutely. Yes, they do. Sure they do.
Here we go.
And at the end, if they would have said what was on their minds and just got to whatever they were trying to get to in the beginning, they would have not wasted a bunch of time.
How about it?
Yes, that's just real, man. I mean, you get to the bottom line one way or another. Now let's do it the proactive way instead of doing it the reactive way.
Man, I love Reggie, man. I love Reggie because he always, as a matter of fact, Reggie, stay with me. Listen, when we come forward, I'm going to go back to Reggie because I like asking Reggie questions. He's a thoughtful brother. He's a very intelligent. Reggie, if I'm not mistaken, you're also a pastor, yes?
Yeah.
Let's get into it when we come forward. Me and Pastor White, we have a lot to talk about. Yes, sir. Is it me? Am I on one? Am I tripping? Can we talk? What happened to knowledge? Knowledge, why you hang up, bro? Just be patient. It's a radio station, knowledge. I'm tired of waiting. You would think This good conversation, brother knowledge, would be giving you some perspective. Call back in, brother knowledge. It ain't gonna take long, man. Knowledge from Belly? No, this is knowledge from Vegas. In the meantime, where the rest of my callers? Nobody? Okay, I'm gonna be quiet. Let's just get through it. This week is almost over. Tomorrow is my Friday. Most dudes ain't honest about what it is they truly want because they scared the girl will leave. Sounds like most dudes are what? Anxious, preoccupied? You just got back in here in Zynga? We on fire. Or you question in the chat, because it could be question in the chat. And for people who wanted to know, I got peanuts and cashews. Here come Kurt. We done got brother Kurt in the building. Hey man, I love the family. I love being able to come in here and see my regular folk. And I love being able to come in here and see the new folk. I was sharing show. I was, because the cutting up, they may play a role too at Jack. Okay, you guys having conversations. All right, here we go. Clip.
Stepping away from that marriage was such an incredibly hard decision for me, but it made me realize, like, there's nothing I can't do. Staying is easier. Staying is easier. Really? Walking away is harder. Staying in your comfort zone, what you know, your house, your kids happy because their parents are together, that's easier. Walking away on your own and trying to rebuild a life by yourself, I was with him when he was 19 years old. Like, that's all I've known. So to step away from that and try to build my own life and still keep my sanity and keep things normal for my son who only knew his mom and his dad together, that wasn't the easier decision. But I had to make a decision for myself. So now it's like, wow, if I could do that, I can do anything. I think that...
Wow, Lala, Anthony. I don't think people understand how powerful those conversations are, especially the conversation that she's having. I think society has conditioned men to be anxious, preoccupied. Because when a man hears a woman say that, after she has birthed his children, after he has conquered the world for her, married her, did all of that, and then, you know what, this is about me. What? Like, in a way, and I'm not saying women shouldn't be in this space, but just be honest here. This is like the poles shifting, right? They say, you know, the Earth's electromagnetic field shifts every 25,000 years, right? The North Pole becomes the South Pole. Like, this is a shift to where you hear women saying, I choose me over family. When most men were conditioned to think women are at the core, the center of family. Now women are saying, yes, we're at the center, but there's also me now. The me. Now, if you look at the stats, Most divorces and most breakups are initiated by women. They say that the stats are 75% of all divorces and breakups are initiated by women. This is heavy talk tonight. I feel like a lot of women are doing what society says. It is a concept called socially imposed monogamy. Okay, I'm gonna be monogamous. I'm gonna lock it down for you. I got your back. I'm 10 toes down with you, brother. I'll even marry you. I'll even give you a kid, but you gotta have this, that, and the third, blah, 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 blah. But, brother, don't ever think that woman ain't changing. Don't ever think she's not growing and evolving and coming into a different sense of self. The world is different now for women. Back in the day, a woman was content. Baby, marriage, home, bills paid. Hey, she was content. She's not content with that anymore. Now, if you throw in an anxious, preoccupied husband, somebody who hasn't healed, somebody who's looking for a mother to step in and pick up where mama left off, it gets even worse. Like, you hear women, they've been saying it for years. I got to take care of the kids and him. He like one of the kids. Oh, here we go. Let me get Reggie back in here. Reggie, what are your thoughts on that clip?
Man, I think it's about how you spin it. Lala said it was harder to leave. It's easier to stay. If you stay and staying is equated to misery, then it's not easier to stay. It's all in how you look at it. If you have society choose for you what's acceptable and what's not, then it's all about what society thinks, you know. But if you're being true to yourself and being true to your partner and on the up and up with each other, it's about what y'all decide and not what society decides.
I would say it's easy to decide on something. It's far more difficult to embody what you decided on.
I mean, once again, man, that's about what you decide and what you deem to be true.
Wait, stay with me, Reggie. When we come forward, me and Reverend Reggie, let's go. Hearing that just gives me the ick. It's her name now. Man. It's easier to go with the flow than stand against the strong current alone. Most of the time, women keep the last name, especially if they have kids in school. Talk to them, Nzinga. Talk to them, Nzinga. My daughter just got a production assistant job. Really excited for her. See. All right.
Oh, we gotta do the hour too.
Let's go.
Actually, the idea of monogamy is, I definitely should not be talking about this. This is so good. We all know that rich princes and counts and barons, they had mistresses all over the place. Monogamy as an idea has never really existed. It's just been that the women were supposed to be monogamous. So actually, I do think that there is this whole thing about like this idea that you're supposed to have one partner forever is sort of a way to control women. If you really think about it, actually, the idea of monogamy...
A way to control women. Oh my goodness. Monogamy as a way to control women? Ladies, do you agree? 1-800-920-1580. Get on the phone line. I want to hear. Men, do you agree that monogamy is a way to control your woman? Because I've heard women are genetically monogamous. I don't. Women cheat. Women lie. Women manipulate. Women have a rotation of dudes. Knowledge from Vegas, get back in here. Like, let's stop playing. Women are the weaker sex, and women are doing what men are doing, and women have been doing what men have been doing. Right? Women. Hey, you know what? Women are better liars. Women will tell you that. That's not sexist. Women are better liars. They will tell you, you guys are so dumb. Gosh, you know how stupid that lie was? Can't tell me you're a better liar and you don't lie. Where do you get to practice in? Women do team lying. Men don't do team lying. Well, some of us do, and it'd be dumb. And women figure it out. But women have a whole squad of people that will support their lie. She was here baking cookies. I'm just telling you the truth. Here we go. Reggie from Dallas, man, let me get your final thought on this.
The last thing is, man, I've listened to you for maybe 5 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I've answered hundreds of questions and put in a lot of work to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
As far as just knowing what I like and why I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't imagine doing that with several other people. So monogamy is probably the only thing I can do because of the amount of work it takes to be happy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine that type of work with several other people. I just couldn't do it.
Right. No, it's crazy.
For me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
a lot. Hey, man, I appreciate you. You brought Austin, Texas in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Man, this is a heavy top. Let me get my brother Kurt from Pasadena, California in here. Kurt, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, my friend?
How you doing, bro?
I'm alive and well, good brother.
Maybe we should consider mankind's DNA.
Talk to me.
The creation of mankind. Well, during the first iteration of the creation of mankind, before the flood,
Mm-hmm.
they used a vial of copper and lined with earth clay. But
Mhm.
after the flood, when they created mankind again, they used a particular primate called the bonobo.
The bonobo. Yes, the chimp.
That thing is the most insatiable creature on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Our forefathers, we have bonobo. Bonobos start screwing around when they're 1 year old.
Mm.
I wrote a whole book about the creation of everything, so I'm well versed in all this.
Talk to us. That's why you here, Kurt. Enlighten us.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying that if we have that much DNA from a primate that has never believed in that's a part of our DNA, and I don't know how you can get past that through some kind of mind therapy or some kind of, you know what I'm saying? And I just don't think monogamy is a part. Now we need to be monogamous. It's more intellectual, it's smarter, but I just don't think it's natural.
Wow. You know what's very interesting? And when you put the filter of the attachment styles and their subsequent attachment wounds on top of socially imposed, culturally imposed
Yeah.
monogamy, what happens is when there is betrayal, there's a re-traumatization of what happened in their childhood, right? Because they pin all of their hopes on you to be this idea, this construct, right? And if you can't be that and you hurt somebody or they hurt you, man, it's almost impossible to get over it. Does that make sense?
As you said, so I listen to your show, but I haven't dated in 10 years, so I'm not even. I just listen to you guys.
Well, you're going to be ready when you start to do it again. If you listening to this show, you're going to be ready.
I don't date. I'm better off. Me and my spirit. It's just me and Big Kurt. That's all it is.
Right. That's the style of the chosen one. Typically, the chosen ones, they stay by themselves, right? And they're okay with that, you know.
I'm happy. Okay, good talking to you.
Hey, man, Kurt, we appreciate the call. You brought Pasadena in the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Call me right now. Hey, what happened to Knowledge from Vegas? We want to talk to him too. But in the meantime, I got my homeboy Hustle on the line. Hustle from Miami. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
What's up, brother?
Man, what's happening, bro?
So this topic is a bit contentious. I think I might argue with myself on it.
Go ahead.
So first, I want to say we need to bring shame back.
Who?
You know, shame.
Shame, like SHAME. Shame.
That's it.
Shame.
If we're talking about monogamy, we have to talk about reason and incentive.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's based around, let's say, romance, it's pretty well known women tend to lose romantic interest quicker than a man, as far as like sexual interest. And if we're talking about monogamy, we're talking about a lifetime commitment. So how are we preparing for all the different stages of life? Are we taking into account each other's nature through these stages? Are we really willing to sign up for what that means on a real level?
No. Hustle? No. Listen, most people are in this ugly little tug of war with themselves. A piece of the subconscious pops up and get your butt back downstairs. They don't want to see themselves. So I'm going to sign up for forever with somebody that refuses to say, wow, I can't regulate my emotions. I'm hot and cold. I'm distant, or I'm clingy, or I need you to fill this gap that was created when I was a child. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to deal with themselves. What makes you think, listen, they might fantasize about somebody coming in and sweeping them off their feet. They might fantasize about meeting the one. And when they get the one, how long does the one turn into the two? How long does it take?
Exactly, and that's my point. Even when you understand your wounds and whatnot, what do they look like over the long term of things?
No.
How many people?
Wait, I got to push back on just that one point. When you start to understand your wounds, don't you know you're going in the right direction? You're healing. I'm saying
That's my point.
the rarity of somebody going, I understand where this comes from. Do you know how rare that is? I understand how I got to this point. Now, the next step is, what are you going to do about it? Do you see?
Deeper than that, after you do something about it, how's the other person going to react to that? Or are you even going to want to be with the person after that?
And did you get with them because they were a perfect supplement to how you were when you were unhealed?
Come on, man. How are we going to sign up when we don't even know what's at the end of the road? Like, you know what I'm saying? Forget the end of the road. What's around the corner?
Wait, Hustle, are you asking the question? This is a terrible question. Is the only thing about our connection that is compatible is our wounds? That's the only thing that's compatible? Our unhealed wounds? Nothing else? And once we start the process of healing those wounds, we might grow apart. The wounds was the glue? Don't tell me the wounds were, it was the glue. Come on.
Fair question, though, ain't it?
Woo, keep going, brother. I'm listening.
If you want to make something last, you can't just. It's like, bro, you know how it is. If you into sports, if you putting a game plan together, they don't just think about the first move. They think about the next move. If the safety come over, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole plan involving. It's like what Belichick said. You play through all four quarters. We out here getting married, hoping we make it to halftime. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you, brother. You ain't got, hey, listen. You ain't got to explain it to me, brother. I'm with you 100%. This is crazy. Hey, brother, guess what you just did, man?
That's all. I'm gonna leave it with that, man.
I don't know about shame. Wait, before I let you go, I don't know about shame. Why shame? You think shame will keep people tame?
I think shame is a built-in mechanism that lets us know whether or not we stand in our integrity with what we're doing.
Does shame and integrity go together? Are they compatible?
I think it's two sides of the same coin.
I don't think. I don't know. Shame is a very low vibrational level of consciousness. A very low vibrational level of consciousness. I don't think shame is good. I think, listen, the slave master used shame in order to tame. And I think if you use shame to tame, listen, you're at a low level of consciousness. This is not good. I think that leads to trauma.
No. You talking about using it as a weapon. Don't take me that way. I'm talking about internal shame. I'm talking about what is that?
No.
What do you want to call it when you have your own self-conscious, where you're like, oh, no, I don't feel right about this. I need to not look away from that feeling of shame. I need to acknowledge that and actually understand like it's trying to tell me something.
Yeah, no, that's not cool. And I'm going to tell you why. No. Because I hear people, and I understand where you're coming from. That's the old school. I'm from the South, too. I understand what shame represents. You're talking about using shame as this energy that helps you keep your boundaries, that help you keep an integrous, self-disciplined kind of posture. If you got to use shame to do that, something is wrong. That's not good.
I think it's built in. We came with it.
No, I think all of that's possible at a higher level of consciousness. You'll be surprised when you start to raise in consciousness. You'll be surprised the things that you thought, right, were good for you. You'll be like, oh, that was abusive. I was abusing myself. I'm a masochist. You start to realize that, and you start to realize certain behaviors, right, that you used to engage in no longer have any meaning. You start to transcend certain lower level vibrational. First off, what is cheating and infidelity? It's I want more. Raising consciousness, you'll realize I have all I need. Do you get what I'm saying? I want more is an extension of scarcity consciousness. I have all I need is an extension of oneness consciousness. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't need shame to get you to the space of I have all I need. Does that make sense?
I hate it because you know you're right, and I understand what you're saying with that. It's more so we have to talk in generalities.
No, we don't. That's the problem right now. That's why Future is one of the greatest ghetto rappers ever. Now, see, listen, when I hear Future, I don't hear the hood stuff he be talking about. You know what I hear? I hear Native American chants.
Okay.
Here's he. Hey, when he get to chant, nobody can chant like Future. And I'm listening to, I go, wait a minute, this dude sounds tribal. This is why he's a hit, and nobody understands it. They think it's mumble rap. No, this dude is conjuring. I'm standing around a fire with him, man. I'm beating on the drum.
But the content matter.
But see, his content is what you're saying. Use shame.
They both hand in hand. Like I'm saying, you can't.
If ups and commas. If ups and commas. No. 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 Hey, I love you, brother. I gotta push forward. Hustle from Miami, always giving me something to think about. If you want to jump into this conversation, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580 when I come forward. I still got a lot to talk about with my brother Carl out of New Orleans. Let's get it. Fuck up some commas. Fuck up some commas. Fuck up some commas, yeah. Fuck up some commas. That shit throw. I get in my car, it's automatically 145, 155. I'm gone. Fuck up some commas there. What? What up, y'all? This is a damn good show. Yeah, like a shaman. I'm telling you, man, Future, man, he different. It's just something about it, man, when you go, nah, man, this is not just what he talking about. He channeling some shit. Fuck up, come, yeah. The whole generation. Oh, we ain't doing that. Ayahuasca side of the game, yeah. Oh me, I can't hear good music or music that I like for while driving. Nah, you can't, because you definitely gonna speed. I hope you guys are enjoying the topic. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please support the channel. Go to my Cash App, $Zoe We have gotten no super chats at all. We're an hour and 20 minutes in. I can't believe it. Where my callers at? I need 2 more callers. Call me right now.
Economic necessity, particularly if she was going to have children, to be with a man who would be the provider, And obviously that has hugely changed now. And for the man, it was a way to attach himself to children. If he was going to have children, he had to do that with a woman. She was going to raise the children. But if she was doing that, he had to provide for them too. And so there was this complementarity to that traditional view of marriage, which of course was founded on a very deep inequality between men and women. That was a driving force of the women's movement, including people like Gloria Steinem, saying the point is to make marriage into a choice rather than a necessity, and to actually free women from the economic bondage, as they would have put it, of marriage. And that inequality is what's been successfully shattered gladly by the women's movement.
Wow. Now he gonna throw the feminist curveball in there. Did you see that? Gloria Steinem, he went the other way. Oh, Lord. I'm merely saying, if you have one of these insecure attachment styles, it's going to be uphill battle. It's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be a struggle. The incompatibility of insecure attachment wounds with socially imposed monogamy, all right, is a struggle. I don't think you guys understand. Like, this is going to be problematic as you move forward. Socially imposed monogamy has been upheld for centuries as a standard of relationship structure. But for individuals carrying insecure attachment wounds, this rationale model, or this relational model, often proves incompatible. Insecure attachment, including anxious, avoidant, and disorganized styles, is rooted in early developmental experiences and often plays a profound role in adult romantic relationships. These attachment patterns create distinct emotional dynamics that can clash with the rigid expectations and structures of socially imposed monogamy. On tonight's topic, we tried to peel all of this back, right? We tried to peel all of this back to give you a glimpse into why it's problematic and how it could be problematic. Of course, we're going to come from a philosophical, psychological perspective. But this is a struggle. Understanding insecure attachment wounds. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and later expanded on by Mary Ainsworth, posits that early interactions with primary caregivers shape an individual's expectations and behaviors in relationship. Secure attachment, formed in a nurturing and responsive environment, leads to healthy emotional connections. However, insecure attachment styles, anxious, avoidant, and disorganized, arise when early caregivers are inconsistent, neglectful, or abusive. I don't care if you walk down the aisle. If you're insecure, you've got issues. You guys have to be in therapy if you want the marriage to work. Anxious attachment is characterized by a deep fear of abandonment and a constant need for reassurance. What happens if you divorce an anxious preoccupied? Are they calling you 75 times when they get the paper? I can't believe that you would send this to me as much as I done for you. Oh, hell nah. They in the car. Anxious preoccupied is in the car. What? So I just saw you yesterday. You couldn't have told me this. Next thing you know, the phone is going to voicemail. Right? Wait a minute. Right? Okay. Here's the avoidant, right? Avoidant attachment reflects a reluctance to rely on others, with an emphasis on emotional independence and detachment. So you had a secret bank account this whole time. So wait a minute. These divorce papers, hold on. These divorce papers are from 6 months ago. The avoidant done already broke up, done already got the paperwork. They just trying to find the comfortable moment. Disorganized attachment stems from trauma or inconsistent caregiving and manifests in chaotic, unpredictable emotional responses. Listen, I'm divorcing you. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. Wait, where are you going? Hold on. Don't leave yet. Well, you just said it's over. And but wait, sit down for a minute. Yeah, I filled out the paperwork, but that don't mean we got to go through with it. Hold on. Don't read the paperwork. Let's talk about it for us. Wait a minute. You done already got the paperwork. So I agree with you. Let's get a divorce. No, I didn't mean it. Then you switch up and say, all right, let's work it out. Nah, I'm cool. Were you just trying to get me to say, let's work it out so you can, huh? What's going on? Disorganized. Hot and cold, back and forth. Most people, when they get married, they have no idea who they're marrying. They have no idea what they've been through. They don't know their attachment styles. They don't know their own. They don't know their partner. They don't know anybody. Let's get these callers. Carl, New Orleans, get in here.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
What up, brother? What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I just wanted to introduce a couple of questions to consider to the topic.
Awesome.
Turn the radio on.
Okay, so one question that I have is, if population control is an agenda going on, how does that affect the social construct of relationships, family life, and monogamy?
Oh wait, you got questions. Listen, you got some fire questions. You stay right there, Carl. We better make a little space for you, brother. We finna make some space. Stay with us. Carl from New Orleans is not playing tonight. He got a lot to talk about.
He's on fire tonight. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk.
Attila, did you hang up? I saw you, Attila. Oh, but I was telling y'all, my daughter, she got a production assistant gig. Her brother's been pushing her real hard, and she got a gig. I was like, okay. And yeah, you know, dad is always on deck. So yesterday, she was like, yo, it's up in the valley. I was like, oh, you gonna drive the freeway? She was like, all right, I'm gonna take you. I'm gonna take you to your first day of work. I take her to work. We find this shit. I park. I say, I'm gonna get out. I'm finna go in here and see what this is about. She like, what? She was like, no, oh man, dad, like, I said, nah, I got to go see what it is. She was like, damn. She was like, all right, just don't announce yourself. She said, don't announce yourself. So I walk in there and I don't say nothing. She's in, she's ahead of me or whatever. I let her walk in. She introduced herself. They was like, "Oh, okay, you made it. Yeah." And then the dude automatically goes, "You're her dad." I was like, "Yep." He was like, "We was expecting you. Her cousin called us and told told us you was bringing her." Ah. I was like, "Yeah." I guess the cousin gave him the 411 like, her dad is bringing her. Her dad is showing up. Y'all already know what this is. Like, if it's on some weirdo shit, her dad gonna say so. It was cool though. She had a good day. And then she drove herself today. And nigga, daddy, I'm on deck. I'm on duty. Fuck that. What up, Lloyd Hinton? I'm on deck. I mean, what are dads for? I gotta be there. And now today I'm mad because she didn't text me at all today. No, she texted me one time. She texted me one time. A text, I made it. Okay, cool. What up, Fishbone? She being avoidant because you smothered. Probably. No, Prima knew they secure kids. We didn't have them do the test. They good. They secure. I was like, that's good shit. So I'm happy. I'm happy she doing her thing. Some of you men are what? The girl are the I don't know what that means. Yeah. No, you know what else is cool? When your kids be best friends with each other. Usually you best friends with your cousins or the homies, but my kids, they friends with each other. Like they best friends. They got other friends, but seems like they siblings be like because they siblings, they got a different kind of bond. They be like, yeah, nigga, I got you, nigga. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They tight. So I love that about them. I guess, well, they're all Sages, so I guess that factors in too. They're all Sages, all three of them. They be locked in. And the skies were blue. Oh, what a revelation to see. Oh, one in a million. Chance of a lifetime.
Not a naturally monogamous species. We are a pair bonding species. But there's social monogamy, which is the pair bond, and there's sexual monogamy, which is never touching anybody ever again with the genitals. And we are not sexually that before. No, we need to split it. All of these birds we used to look to and think, why can't we be monogamous like eagles and certain geese and little birds that would mate, and they would mate for life, and we would measure our failure as humans to live up to the standards set by these damn birds. Well, along comes genetic testing, and we find out that these birds are screwing around on each other constantly. That they're socially monogamous, pair bonded, but they're not sexually monogamous. No primates with testicles our size are monogamous, sexually monogamous. Women, hidden menses. I'm not saying all this to say that people shouldn't go for monogamy if monogamy is something that they want. I'm not saying this to argue that people who made a monogamous commitment have license to violate that monogamous commitment. But that's what headlines would do when they hear a phrase and get out of your mouth. Right? And they do that. Right. What I'm saying is we're not naturally monogamous. It is a difficult struggle for us.
Wow. This is heavy topic. I think a lot of people's insecure attachment wounds either keep them monogamous, sexually monogamous, or not. I think it's the insecure attachment wounds. Fearful avoidant? Dismissive? Anxious preoccupied? It's all on the table. That's what I think. I think sexual monogamy, got to be a special person. They got to be on board. They got to check all the boxes. All your beliefs have to be in alignment. It's a lot of things that have to line up, or else you're setting yourself up for a deep betrayal wound, right? It's easy to be socially monogamous, right? Because that's the social game rule, right? Like New York says, hey, if you get caught cheating on your wife, it's a misdemeanor. Right? Oh, legal. I get a ticket. I have to pay for it. It could lead to divorce. It could be bigger, right? Okay, that's social monogamy. And remember, socially imposed monogamy is a part of the version of monogamy that the Westerners use. Western countries. But are you sexually monogamous? Not according to Ashley Madison, the website where married people go to cheat anonymously. That website is still up somewhere. Let's get Carl from New Orleans back in here. Carl, you were asking some heavy questions, and I definitely wanted to give you the space to be able to lay your questions out. So go with question number 1 once again.
Okay, I wanted to ask, should I ask them all at once, or should I ask them piece
Just
by piece?
one at a time.
Okay, so the first question was, if population control is an agenda that's going on, how does it affect family life and the social construct that we're living under?
You said population control.
Yeah.
And how is that in relation to the topic of monogamy? I want to see how you tie this in.
Okay, so if you look in China, which is considered the America of the East, they had, I'm not sure if it's still going on, but later they had where you can only have 2 children.
Right. And boys were preferred, right?
Yeah. That would be considered a form of, I guess, population control.
Yeah, because they're suffering from overcrowding, right? Billions.
Yeah.
Right, billions. Where are they at? Where are they at right now? 1.4, 1.6 billion people, something like that?
Yeah.
Now, America, where are we at? 320 million, something like that? So do you...
I would assume so.
So, no, I'm asking you. Do you think we would need population control when our, society is nowhere near the numbers, sheer numbers. If you look at billion plus populations on planet Earth, you're talking about China, you're talking about India, and you're talking about Africa. So, do we need population control here by using monogamy, or do you think monogamy keeps our numbers low?
I wouldn't think we need population control, but in regards to other things that's going on, it seems like that's the case in regards to, the LGBT movement and many other things that kind of like do kind of like an opposite way versus forcing like China over here. We've been introduced to different forms of lifestyles that would reduce population numbers, and that's not. I don't think that's by accident. I think that's by with a particular purpose.
So, Carl, if I'm not mistaken, are you leaning towards polygamy as our natural state, where we should have as many wives, men should have as many wives as they can afford?
So, no, I'm not. Kevin Samuels, the guy who's not with us no more, the agenda that he seemed to be introducing with this whole thing about high value male and stuff like that was men who would have other women who, in those situations, could possibly have more children. And I think that would be an example of living a life that a person who is financially well off would want to live versus a monogamous one.
So do you think those type of men could tip the population scale? I mean, you have to remember those men are in the minority. It's not a bunch of high value men out there. When we say high value men, we're talking about big time sky ballers that could afford as many kids as they want ad infinitum. I don't think there are that many men out there. So I don't even see how that ties in.
So I will see the ideology trickling down into the population that's consuming that type of content. But,
no disrespect to my brother, Kevin Samuels. I've always said that the brother was he was good for a certain consciousness, right, when it came to relationship talk. But the consciousness level that I'm talking about is not better, it's just different. I'm in a different lane than what he talked about. For me, if I'm talking about marrying somebody, right, or if I'm talking about being in a monogamous relationship with somebody, I think we understand the vetting process when in fact we don't. If I don't know my attachment style, if I don't know my partner's attachment style, if I'm not doing any self-work, the relationship is in danger, regardless of how good it starts. Do you feel what I'm saying? Regardless of how good it starts off, that 18-month window, that honeymoon cycle, doesn't matter. At some point, my shadow is going to well up to the surface, and then we're going to have conflict. Now, how we deal with that conflict is going to determine whether this relationship has the legs to survive conflict. Now, understand something about dismissive avoidance. They have no place for conflict. They have no place for it. That's an attachment style. They see conflict as detrimental. They can't stomach it in any way, shape, or form. So that's why they're avoidant. And guess what? The fearful avoidant is both dismissive avoidant and anxious preoccupied. So in one side, the fearful avoidant hates conflict, but then in the other side, the anxious side will engage in conflict. So do you see what I'm saying? If you don't understand these inner workings that's going on, it doesn't matter if you get married or if you cohabitate, if you're monogamous. Well, it doesn't matter. There's going to be problems. Does that make sense to you, Carl?
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's your second question?
Well, I was also going to say along with that, so I'm not, of course, I'm not a religious person who pick any religion or whatever, but to refer to the Bible for some of the information that's in it. When God promised Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob the greatest thing he can give them, it was to be fruitful and multiply, having the children and the offspring, as opposed to any money or gold or silver or anything. The greatest gift it seemed like God could give was the multiple offspring.
So kids, kids. This sounds like what do you? Okay, what's the question though? Is this about having more kids by having more women? Talk to me. Is this? I need to know if this is polygamy. Talk to me.
Oh, so it's not polygamy. It's because polygamy, just like monogamy, would be a social construct that to fit people into a box.
But what are you calling it?
Well, what my part of my question is the whole idea of monogamy connected to a form of population control?
So you're saying just reducing it down to just one man, one woman, right? That was your first question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I answered that by saying America has a population of 320 million people. I don't know if America is concerned about controlling the population via marriage. Maybe food, maybe fluoride, right? Right? Maybe water, but do you think they would go as far as to say, let's create a social construct that would limit you to just one woman and one man?
Not initially. Not initially, but if we look at the most recent pandemic that happened, and look at its source, where it came from, and connected to so-called like a situation that came like about 30 years ago with AIDS, the STDs and stuff like that. They both have, if you change the location and you change the animal, they have almost the same origin story.
But you're asking questions, but you're not revealing your position. I want your position. Are you saying, because you formulated these questions, do you believe that America is using monogamy to limit the amount of children being born?
I think that is a piece of it. And I'm posing a question. I think that that's a piece of it. Because I think that for each individual has their own thing. Some people are better in monogamy, some people may not be. Some people have, to each their own cup of tea, pretty much. And when you create a system where everything is expected to be the same way, I feel like that's when you kind of like condition in society to go in a certain direction.
I hear you. Hey, stay with me. You got one more question. When I come forward, I'm going back to New Orleans because I'm oddly intrigued by Carl. I want to know his third question. When I come forward, the voice of reason still got a lot to talk about. Nolans. He thought this was a regular show. Nah, I'm just trying to understand where he's coming from. And I'm trying to give him the space. Kiki asked a question. What was the question?
But behind that general decline is a more interesting story. I think it's important we try to understand why people do get married in the first place. For some people, of course, it's a religious matter. It's a covenantal relationship. I think for many more people, there's an economic element to it. There's obviously the companionship and love. You fall in love and want to spend the rest of your life with someone. So there's a romantic element to marriage. And another reason was because they got pregnant. The so-called shotgun wedding. There was a sense that if you were bringing a new life into the world, that should be done within marriage. And there's probably a bit of status signaling too, sometimes, and this may be more true today than it was in the past, that being married is a way of signaling success and status within a society. And so there's a blend of reasons between religion, romance, economics, and status that have traditionally led people to the marital state.
Very interesting stuff. We got an interesting caller on the line. His name is Carl. He's calling out of Nolens. Nolens. Get back in here, Carl. You had one more question, brother. Talk to me. What is the question?
Okay, so the title of the show being One Love, One Marriage, the Flaws in Society's Push for Monogamy.
Right.
My thought about that is, where does anything come from in regards to, or where does monogamy come from? And is it a religious thing, or is it a political thing, or is it, well, those are the two figureheads that create our society and stuff. And if those are what's held on to, for what purpose is it held on to?
Are you saying, why did they create monogamy? Is that what you're saying?
I can assume I know why they created monogamy, but
right.
Relationship in general is with everything around us, including multiple people. The only thing that a monogamous relationship includes is sexual exclusivity. Because outside of that, anything else you can do in a relationship, you can do with a mother, a brother, a sister, a family member, from going to the movies to talking about personal things to, buying things together. All of these things, the only thing that's different with the intimate relationship is the sexual aspect of it.
So, so you're talking about the history of it. It goes back to Greek times. Of course, there have been many. Humanity goes back to 150,000 years if you're talking about Homo sapiens. So I'm sure that there were some organically monogamous people. But for the most part, human society hasn't been monogamous. And of course, the Greeks came along and they made it a part of Western culture. Right? And the monogamy that we look at, or that we're familiar with, is about 200 years old, 250 years old. So you're asking the question, why did they create it? Well, we played many clips throughout the show that illustrated why. You had one clip that talked about how they wanted to reduce sexually transmitted diseases. Right? And again, you have to remember, in American culture, marriage is a business. Monogamy is a business. If we're going to stay together, we got to be building together. We got to be working together. We got to bring something together, correct? So I don't know what answer you're looking for in particular. Are you saying that there's some kind of conspiracy to limit because this was all revolving around population control, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, you pretty much answered my question just now with your response. And along inside of that, with the reduction of STDs, my question partially was some of these STDs introduced in the same way that the recent pandemic was introduced?
Now, you making this show about wait a minute. We talking about monogamy, and you went to like the COVID version of herpes? Are you saying that to me, that sounds like an entirely different show. That sounds like a different topic altogether. Maybe I will do the show on loving with STDs. Maybe I'll do that show and we can ask that question then. But I don't think it fits into this particular topic. What are your thoughts on that?
I understand. And I agree.
Well, you know what, Carl? Man, let me just say, man, this is your first time calling in, man. I appreciate you for reaching out. I'm going to be back here tomorrow. Don't make me do the STD show tomorrow. Why not? I don't care. Let's call it the Burning Bush. I'll do it tomorrow. And let's get it cracking, all right?
I'm going to have to call back in then.
You got to call back in, man. We appreciate you. Carl from New Orleans, good looking. I will do it. I'll do the Burning Bush tomorrow. You think I won't when I will? Yes, I will. Why not? We got to have real conversations. Don't be afraid to talk about it. I'm telling you right now. I start these conversations and I might throw a little splash of levity in there. But the reality of it is we got to have these talks. If your wounds are clandestine, I'm sure some other things will be clandestine as well. Listen, I'm not afraid to start the conversation. But are you afraid to finish it? Listen, I started, you finish it. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, always on fire. Tomorrow is my Friday. I'm back in the building with another slapper. Let's get it. Oh. The Burning Bush. Think I won't? I will. I damn sure will do the Burning Bush tomorrow. You know, I'm crazy. All right. Let's get out of here. Come on, get me out of here. Sign out. Y'all know what it is. Sign me out. All right, I'm out. Boom. We out, bro. Good topic.
I did want to ask you though. You said something.
That dude was he had some different questions.
Yeah, no, he brought like a different. He was talking about like, I think his perspective was so broad.
Yeah,
He was talking more like.
I was trying to narrow it a little bit. Yeah.
But you said something I wanted to ask you about. You said something about the chosen ones being alone. What do you mean by that?
Chosen ones usually are alone. I'll send you something on it.
Please.
Yep, I got you. Yeah. Great show tonight. Let me check in, man. I'm going to holler at y'all a little bit later. Deuces.